I've also dealt with epilepsy since the age of 18, which probably threw a wrench in the works for someone who would want to have a typical career path. But I just seemed to turn it into something much more exciting and enjoyable for myself. It's not the type of disability that you can see, but when you do see it happen, it's quite upsetting and it's scary. I think it stems from behaviors and cultures where there is a belief that if you announce a weakness about yourself, that you are announcing you cannot do something.
Right.
You don't see a disability, and then something incredibly strange happens to a person, or strange looking and scary. And that just, it leads to some strange behaviors. 1 in 25 people in the United States will have a seizure, but might not have epilepsy. I actually remember waking up in the hospital and people standing over me and saying, Steven, do you know what happened to you? Do you know what happened to you? And that's scary because it's just, you're like, okay, where am I now? And I think it was from there realizing that now school was going to be different. My career was going to be different. It was liberating to hear it finally, but it was funny to look back at it and say, like, all those times in life where I woke up and I twitched and my brother made fun of me, or my friends teased me at school for kind of doing these like little faces in class and they didn't know. They're like, what's wrong with him? Whatever. And they teased a little bit. We didn't know. No one knew. No one knew. One of the worst seizures I ever had was in Times Square while I was at work. And I
Oh,
was just burning the candle at both ends. And right when they handed me the microphone, I went, and the next thing I remember, I woke up and I'm on 42nd and Broadway on a stretcher. And the police officer says to me, how much heroin did you do? Accountability is a tough lesson. But a lot of the problems I think that have happened to me, I think I may have caused sometimes. I think all of it, maybe. But that's how I see it sometimes. But the problem is, though, is that I know that if you have a problem and you wait 25 years to solve it, you're spending 25 years miserable. But the day after you solve the problem, you're happy. But the 2 minutes that you're spending to solve the problem is not 25 years punishing yourself from the age of 21 to when I was maybe 30.
mm,
And there were just things that were happening at that point, like trying to have, like I mentioned, like trying to have an acting career and trying to prove I could hold down 4 jobs at once, trying to prove that sleep was for weak people. And I had gotten so bad that I was literally like taking food from like barbecues and stuff like that, like July 4th barbecue.
mm,
And I was living off that for a while. And the stress got to me so bad that I had a series of seizures in a row, like 3 or 4 seizures. And I woke up with police standing over me in my own apartment. And I was covered in blood from biting my tongue and some other that I know it's a lot, but
no.
if you're in a ditch, the best way to start your way out is to stop digging. That's what I stopped digging on that day. It made me realize that if I were to die, that I wouldn't even remember it. And it was that realization that I have to take advantage of every single day that I'm alive and not throw it away.
Shame is I think shame is the most insidious thing you can feel because it can take you down the path of option A.
He was always a big laughing guy, and he laughed all the way through dementia. Everything was funny. You'd give him a guitar and he would look at it and he'd start laughing. And he used to play guitar and then he would actually start to play it and he would laugh at himself for knowing how to play it. And he's holding his glass of wine and he's just laughing at the whole thing. And I'm like scared his wife was going to get blown over. Like that's gonna fly overboard.